deep in the Amazon rainforest, where the water moves silently and the trees block out the sun like prison bars made of leaves. A group of explorers disappears without a trace. No bodies, no distress call, not even blood left behind, just a drifting camera floating in black water as something enormous moves beneath it. And the terrifying part isn't that the jungle is hiding a monster. It's that the monster is hunting them one by one with intelligence almost human. A documentary crew travels deep into the Amazon hoping to capture footage that could change their careers forever. Led by ambitious filmmaker Danny, who believes this expedition will finally prove she's more than another struggling content producer chasing views online. But from the very beginning, the jungle feels wrong. The air heavy and wet like breathing through a soaked cloth. Insects screaming from every direction, while the river itself seems alive beneath the boat. Alongside Danny are cameraman Luke, survival expert Marcus, biologist Elena, and a wealthy investor named Carter whose obsession with finding rare species feels less scientific and more dangerous. At first, the crew jokes around, filming beautiful shots of waterfalls and ancient ruins hidden in the jungle. But the mood shifts when they discover an abandoned campsite covered in mud and claw marks so huge they don't look real. One of the tents is ripped open from the inside, cameras shattered, supplies scattered everywhere, and hanging from a nearby tree is a snake skin longer than the entire boat itself. Everyone laughs nervously because accepting the truth would mean admitting something impossible is out there watching them. That night, while heavy rain pounds the canopy above, Luke hears movement outside the tent, slow dragging sounds through the mud. He shines his flashlight into the darkness and catches a glimpse of scales reflecting the beam before the light suddenly dies. The sound stops, silence floods the jungle. Then something massive crashes through the trees beside camp, sending everyone scrambling in panic. But when they search the area, they find nothing except a trail leading toward the river. Marcus warns them the jungle has predators unlike anything modern civilization understands, creatures that evolved in isolation where survival means becoming perfect at killing. Carter ignores the warnings because he's convinced capturing footage of the legendary giant Anaconda will make them all rich beyond imagination. The deeper they travel upriver, the stranger things become. Birds stop singing, fish float dead in the water. Entire sections of jungle are unnaturally quiet, as if every living thing senses danger approaching. Elena begins studying enormous tracks found along the muddy banks and realizes the creature they're following isn't just large, it's impossibly large, far beyond anything recorded by science. Meanwhile, Danny notices Carter secretly communicating with armed mercenaries over satellite radio. He never intended this to be a documentary. He came to capture the creature alive and sell it to private buyers willing to pay millions. The revelation sparks tension inside the group, but before they can confront him fully, disaster strikes. During a nighttime river crossing, the boat suddenly stops moving. The engine dies without explanation. The water beneath them begins bubbling violently, and before anyone can react, a colossal anaconda erupts from beneath the surface like a living nightmare. Its head alone is the size of a car tire, eyes glowing in the flashlight beams as it crashes through the boat with horrifying force. Screams echo across the river. Marcus fires flares into the darkness while Luke desperately records everything, hands shaking uncontrollably as the creature coils around one of the crew members and crushes him so violently bones snap like branches. Blood sprays across the camera lens before the victim disappears screaming into the black water. The remaining survivors barely escape onto shore while the wrecked boat sinks behind them. Now stranded deep inside the rainforest with limited supplies, the group realizes the anaconda isn't simply attacking randomly, it's stalking them. Hours later, they find another clue hidden within ancient ruins swallowed by vines and moss, murals carved into stone depicting giant serpents worshipped as gods by forgotten tribes. Elena translates the symbols and discovers terrifying warnings describing the creature as a guardian spirit awakened whenever outsiders invade sacred territory. But Carter refuses to turn back. Obsession has completely consumed him. He believes the serpent is proof humanity still hasn't conquered nature, and controlling it would make him untouchable. As tensions rise, paranoia spreads through the camp. Every rustle in the jungle triggers panic. Every shadow feels alive. Sleep becomes impossible because the creature attacks strategically, circling camp at night, testing defenses, waiting for weakness. One evening, Luke wanders away to record atmospheric footage despite warnings not to separate from the group. Through the lens, he notices movement high in the trees, branches bending unnaturally as something gigantic moves silently above him. His breathing becomes frantic. The camera shakes violently. Then the serpent strikes from above with terrifying speed, wrapping around him before he can even scream properly. The camera falls into the mud, still recording while Luke's body is dragged screaming screaming into darkness, his cries slowly muffled by crushing pressure until silence returns. Danny watches the footage afterward in complete shock, realizing the creature isn't behaving like an animal, it's hunting tactically, almost intelligently. Fear fractures the team completely. Elena wants to escape immediately, while Carter pushes deeper into the jungle toward a hidden cave system he believes is the serpent's nest. Marcus argues that staying near water guarantees death, but before any decision can be made, armed mercenaries arrive by helicopter under Carter's orders. Their leader, Vargas, reveals Carter hired them to capture the Anaconda using experimental tranquilizers and reinforced steel traps. Danny is horrified. They're no longer surviving the jungle, they're invading it. Against all logic, Carter forces the team onward into ancient caves beneath the rainforest, where humidity drips from the walls like sweat and giant skeletons litter the ground, including massive animal remains crushed and swallowed whole. The deeper they descend, the more suffocating the atmosphere becomes. Strange hissing echoes through tunnels no flashlight can fully illuminate. Elena discovers hundreds of eggs hidden in the darkness, each larger than a human head, and realizes with absolute horror the giant serpent isn't alone. Before anyone can react, smaller anacondas begin emerging from cracks in the cave walls, swarming the mercenaries in chaotic panic. Gunfire explodes through the tunnels, bullets ricocheting everywhere while men are dragged screaming into darkness. One mercenary falls into underground water and vanishes instantly beneath the surface before his body resurfaces moments later, folded unnaturally in half. The survivors run deeper into the caves searching for escape, but Carter only grows more obsessed, convinced they're standing on the edge of the greatest scientific discovery in history. Then they finally reach the heart of the nest, an enormous underground chamber illuminated by strange blue bioluminescent plants, where the colossal mother anaconda rests coiled around ancient ruins buried beneath the earth. The sheer scale of the creature is beyond comprehension, its body thicker than tree trunks, scars covering scales hardened from decades of survival. Even the mercenaries freeze in terror. The serpent slowly raises its massive head and stares directly at them with eyes filled not with animal instinct but something disturbingly aware. Carter attempts to fire the tranquilizer launcher, but the serpent attacks instantly, smashing through stone pillars and sending the cave collapsing around them. Chaos erupts. Mercenaries fire wildly while explosions trigger cave-ins. Vargas is swallowed whole in seconds, his screams echoing from inside the serpent's body before abruptly stopping. Marcus sacrifices himself to hold back collapsing debris so the others can escape, shouting for Danny to run while the creature coils around him and drags him into darkness. Danny, Elena, and Carter barely escape the cave system as the entire mountain begins collapsing behind them. But Carter refuses to abandon the mission. Completely broken by greed and obsession, he steals the last tranquilizer launcher and returns alone to hunt the serpent one final time. Danny chases after him through torrential rain while thunder shakes the jungle overhead. Near the riverbank, Carter finally corners the wounded anaconda, but instead of killing it, he tries filming himself beside the creature, desperate to claim victory and immortality. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, where sunlight barely touches the ground and the rivers move like black veins through endless jungle, an entire rescue team vanishes without leaving behind a single body. No blood, no wreckage, not even a scream caught on radio transmission, just one damaged camera floating across dark water while something impossibly massive circles beneath it, and the horrifying truth is that whatever lives in this jungle isn't simply killing people, it's studying them first. The story begins with ambitious filmmaker Danny, a struggling documentary creator desperate to make something big enough to change her life forever. Her online career is collapsing, sponsors are abandoning her channel, and this expedition into the Amazon feels like her final chance to prove herself. Alongside her are sarcastic cameraman Luke, survival expert Marcus, brilliant biologist Elena, and mysterious investor Carter, a wealthy adventurer funding the entire project with almost suspicious enthusiasm. At first, everything feels exciting, cinematic even, dense green jungles stretching endlessly around them while exotic birds scream through the humid air and ancient trees rise from the riverbanks like giant pillars guarding forgotten secrets. Danny records beautiful drone shots while Luke jokes about how every jungle documentary always ends with someone getting eaten alive, but the humor slowly fades because from the moment they enter deeper waters something feels wrong. The air becomes unnaturally heavy, clarity. Insects suddenly stop making noise whenever the boat slows down, and entire stretches of river feel completely dead, as though every animal nearby is hiding from something far worse. Marcus notices strange disturbances in the mud along the shoreline, giant trails cutting through vegetation as if enormous cables were dragged into the water. Elena initially believes they belong to large anacondas, but after measuring the depth of the tracks, she goes completely silent because no known snake could possibly weigh enough to leave marks like that. Carter brushes off the concern and pushes everyone onward, constantly talking about legends from local tribes describing giant serpents hidden deep beneath the rainforest. He claims the stories are exaggerated myths, but the excitement in his eyes says otherwise. That night, the crew camps near ancient stone ruins partially swallowed by vines and moss, and while Danny explores with her flashlight, she discovers strange carvings etched into the walls showing human figures bowing before gigantic snakes larger than boats. Some images depict entire villages being dragged underwater while enormous serpent eyes stare from beneath rivers. Elena translates part of the symbols and realizes the ruins describe a guardian beneath the black water, awakened whenever outsiders enter sacred territory. Danny laughs nervously, trying not to let fear affect morale, but later that night Luke hears movement outside the tents. Slow scraping sounds move through wet mud. He shines his flashlight into the darkness and catches a glimpse of something massive sliding between trees before the beam suddenly flickers out. Silence crushes the jungle instantly. Even the insects stop making noise. Then a deafening crash explodes beside camp as trees violently shake and something huge slams into the river nearby. Everyone wakes in panic. Marcus grabs a flare while Carter rushes toward the water hoping to see the creature, but by the time they search the shoreline, there's nothing there except enormous ripples spreading across the Black River. The next morning, they discover one of their supply crates missing completely, dragged hundreds of feet away into the jungle. Nearby, they find an enormous snake skin hanging from a tree branch, stretching longer than the entire boat itself. Luke tries joking again, but nobody laughs this time. Fear settles over the expedition like a disease. Still, Carter insists they continue deeper upriver because he believes they're close to discovering something historic. Danny begins noticing him secretly communicating over satellite radio late at night, whispering coordinates to unknown contacts. Elena suspects Carter never intended this to be just a documentary, but before they can confront him directly, disaster strikes. During a nighttime river crossing, the boat engine suddenly dies. The water beneath them begins bubbling violently. Marcus tries restarting the engine while Danny films the strange disturbance, but then the river erupts. A colossal anaconda bursts from beneath the surface with explosive force, smashing directly through the side of the boat. Its head alone is larger than a motorcycle tire, black scales reflecting flashlight beams, while rows of curved fangs drip river water mixed with blood. Panic detonates instantly. Luke screams while trying to keep filming, Carter stares in awe like he's witnessing a miracle, and Marcus fires emergency flares toward the creature as it coils around one crew member, so violently bones crack through the night air. Blood sprays across the camera lens. The victim disappears screaming into the river as the snake drags him underwater with horrifying strength. The survivors barely escape onto shore while the destroyed boat sinks into darkness behind them. Now stranded deep inside the Amazon with almost no supplies, Danny realizes they're no longer explorers, they're prey. Hours pass as the group pushes through suffocating jungle terrain searching for higher ground. Rain pours endlessly through the canopy while distant animal screams echo from every direction. Elena studies massive tracks left behind in mud and discovers the serpent has been following them deliberately instead of attacking randomly. Marcus explains predators sometimes stalk injured prey until exhaustion sets in, but Elena disagrees because the movement patterns resemble coordinated hunting behavior, almost intelligent. Tension inside the group explodes when Danny finally confronts Carter about the satellite calls. Under pressure, he admits armed mercenaries are on their way because he intends to capture the serpent alive. He believes the creature could be worth billions to pharmaceutical corporations and private collectors. Danny is horrified. People are already dead and Carter still cares more about profit than survival. Before the argument can escalate further, they discover another abandoned campsite hidden within the jungle. This one looks even worse. Tents shredded apart from the inside, trees splattered with dried blood, cameras crushed like toys, and hanging above the campfire is a human skeleton wrapped tightly in giant snake coils. Elena notices strange symbols painted across nearby rocks warning outsiders to leave before the mother awakens. Suddenly, Luke hears branches snapping overhead. He slowly raises the camera toward the trees and catches a terrifying glimpse of gigantic scales moving silently above them. Before anyone can react, the serpent drops from the canopy with shocking speed, wrapping around Luke mid-scream and dragging him upward through branches while the camera falls spinning into mud. Danny watches helplessly as Luke disappears into darkness, his screams slowly cut short by the sound of bones snapping one by one. Marcus tries chasing after him but finds nothing except blood dripping from leaves. The psychological terror destroys the group. Nobody sleeps anymore. Every shadow looks alive. Every sound in the jungle triggers panic attacks. Elena becomes convinced the serpent is studying them, learning their patterns before striking at moments of weakness. Then helicopters suddenly roar overhead. Carter's mercenaries finally arrive, led by ruthless Hunter Vargas, a scarred former military operative carrying experimental tranquilizer weapons and reinforced steel traps. Vargas immediately treats the expedition like a hunting mission instead of a rescue operation. Danny begs them to leave the jungle immediately, but Carter refuses because obsession has completely consumed him. He believes they stand on the edge of the greatest scientific discovery in modern history. Forced to continue deeper into the rainforest, the survivors eventually discover a hidden cave system beneath ancient ruins where warm air rises from underground tunnels carrying strange hissing echoes. Giant bones litter the cave floor, including crushed jaguar skulls and half-digested animal remains. The atmosphere feels suffocating, humid walls dripping constantly while strange blue plants glow faintly in darkness. Elena discovers enormous eggs hidden among rocks, each one larger than a human torso, and realizes with absolute horror the giant serpent isn't alone. Before she can warn the others, smaller anacondas suddenly emerge from cracks in the walls, swarming mercenaries in violent chaos. Gunfire explodes through the caves while terrified men disappear screaming into underground rivers. One soldier falls backward into black water and vanishes instantly before resurfacing moments later, folded in half with his spine twisted completely backward. Panic spreads fast. Vargas orders explosives placed around the tunnels while Carter keeps filming the chaos like a man possessed. The deeper they travel underground, the stranger the environment becomes. Ancient carvings cover the walls, showing generations of tribes worshipping giant serpents as gods capable of swallowing entire villages. Elena realizes these creatures may have existed hidden beneath the Amazon for centuries. Eventually, the survivors reach a colossal underground chamber illuminated by glowing blue fungi and underground waterfalls. In the center lies the mother Anaconda. The sight is beyond comprehension. Her body coils endlessly across the ruins like a living mountain of black muscle and scales scarred by decades of survival. Her head slowly rises toward the humans, eyes disturbingly calm and intelligent, as though she understands exactly who they are. Even Vargas freezes in terror. Carter trembles with excitement while raising the tranquilizer launcher, but the moment he fires, the chamber explodes into chaos. The serpent attacks instantly, smashing through stone pillars with terrifying force. Mercenaries fire automatic weapons uselessly as the cave begins collapsing around them. Vargas gets swallowed whole in seconds, his screams echoing from inside the creature before abruptly stopping. Marcus sacrifices himself, holding back falling debris so Danny and Elena can escape, screaming for them to run, while the giant serpent coils around him and drags him into darkness. Danny barely escapes the collapsing tunnels alongside Elena and Carter as explosions tear apart the cave system behind them. But even after witnessing all the death and destruction, Carter still refuses to stop. Completely consumed by greed and obsession, he steals the last tranquilizer weapon and hunts the wounded serpent through torrential rain near the riverbank. Danny chases after him desperately while thunder shakes the jungle overhead. Carter finally corners the injured creature near the water and begins filming himself beside it, convinced he's achieved immortality. Then the jungle falls completely silent. No rain, no insects, no wind, just silence. Suddenly, another colossal serpent erupts from the river behind Carter and wraps around him instantly. He screams for help while bones snap beneath crushing coils. Danny watches helplessly as both serpents drag him screaming beneath black water until only ripples remain. Traumatized and exhausted, Danny and Elena finally reach a rescue helicopter at dawn, believing the nightmare has ended. As they rise above the rainforest, sunlight breaks through storm clouds, revealing endless jungle stretching beyond the horizon, beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Danny stares silently at recovered footage, knowing nobody will ever believe what happened out there. But then warning alarms begin screaming inside the helicopter. The aircraft shakes violently. The pilot looks down in horror as massive shapes begin moving beneath the river surface below them. Not one serpent, several. Giant bodies glide silently beneath black water like prehistoric monsters reclaiming territory humanity never should have entered. Danny's face drains of color as she realizes the creatures they encountered may have only been scouts from an entire hidden species evolving beneath the Amazon for generations. Then one final gigantic shape rises slowly from the depths, larger than anything they've seen before, its glowing eyes staring directly at the helicopter as the screen cuts to black and a monstrous roar echoes through the jungle one final time.